I got the call that I got the role while I was working the till. So I remember serving a customer and I saw my phone kind of going off and it was my agent. And part of me was like, I think it's about the role, but also I didn't want to think about it. It's a weird time to be a Pacifica actor right now. The first question they ask us is, okay, how are you different? I get the nuances of that, but I don't see anybody asking any Palangis, how are you different to the other Palangi? I'm pretty competitive too. Like I like to, I'm not gonna lie, I like to win. But I'm not ever jealous of anyone else either. I'm like, yo, shot, that's gangster. But then it's also just going in the back of your head, enjoy it while the spotlight's on you. Because I walked past my mum's roommate, I heard her pray for me. You always think about it, you go, oh man, my mum's prayers saved me so many more times than I can imagine. But I remember walking past my mum's room and hearing her say,
what kind of character do you one day would hope to play?
Mandate.
Hi everyone, if you are enjoying the content and the guests that are on the podcast and you're wanting more, then please do us a favor. If you can just press the subscribe button, that would be an amazing help for us. But also, just want to mention an amazing organization called AOK, who sponsors the Mandate podcast. And so they are an organization that runs suicide prevention, intervention, and wellbeing programs. And so AOK stands for Acts of Kindness. And so you didn't need me to tell you about the alarmingly high rates of suicide in our nation, especially amongst our rangatahi, our young people, even our tane, our men. And so if you're wanting to stand in the gap and you want to be well trained and well equipped to have these courageous life supporting conversations, then please check them out, aok.nz. If you're a business, a company or a collective, or even as an individual, check them out, www.aok.nz. You could very well be that one person to help save a life. Welcome to Mandate, where we navigate fresh perspectives and nothing is off the table. Tonight's guest is from Tāmaki Makero, 275 Mangere out in South Okilani. The man is a bright young talent, amazing talent, and he happens to be a professional actor, also performing artist as well. So you'll recognize him on your screens, on your telly, and on the box. And so you'll recognize him on shows or short film in 2028 called My Friend Michael Jones, 2019. He's also starred on the mini-series, the TV mini-series called Jonah, on the life of Jonah Lomu, but also the man in current times. The man is acting on New Zealand's most famous TV series and is still ongoing and is prolonging even to this day. The man his character is Viliami Toa. And so hopefully this hasn't given it away too much. And so the man also has been on stage plays, theatre, shows of pop-up, global as well. And so the man is one of these individuals who is more than just an actor. He's also a good father and a good husband. Please put your hands together for the man himself, the one and only Theo David!
Let's get it! 275, baby! Thanks for that, bro.
Woohoo! Man, thank you so much for coming out tonight. I know it's one of those evenings where it's quite chilly outside also, but where do we start? Because you've done a lot of work, obviously, in the performing arts and acting, on theatre, on stage, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, you pop-up Globe, which was massive several years ago. But also, tell us in terms of your role as Viliami, and how has that been in terms of life-changing for you, or if it has been life-changing for you. Please give us the ins also.
So for Mawa, Malilangi Mama, ta alofa lava. My name is Theo David. First of all, proud Samoan. My villages are Leauva'a and Vai-Moso. I'm proud father to a half Samoan, quarter Māori, quarter Pālangi son. And he whakapapas out to Te Araroa on the east coast of New Zealand. He's a Hāti Ngāti, he's Ngāti Porou, State Highway 35. My favourite superhero is Captain America. I love coconut mockers. I love Shakespeare. But to answer your question, bro, when I got the call that I got the role of Vili, just kind of my life just did a whole 180, because you mentioned before you used to come up to the cafe down the road, out at Cream Cafe. And I got the call that I got the role while I was working the till. So I remember serving a customer and I saw my phone kind of going off and it was my agent. And part of me was like, I think it's about the role, but also I didn't want to think about it just because that's what you do as an actor. You when you do the audition, you kind of just want to flush it and carry on to the next one. But landing the role, honestly, it just enabled me to do a lot of things, Like it just kind of proved me right, like just to let me know that I was good enough to do this thing that's so hard to do. Allowed me now to pay bills, to be the only worker in my household if I want to be that. It was proof to my parents, who had to give me the talk a lot of times, going, the classic, So it was good to see their faces go, oh yeah, this is something that will help his future out and help keep me secure. But yeah, just it means I got to have a son and be financially secure, and to know that I can buy his nappies while also save money, while also, pick up the phone to my mum if she's like, can you send us some gas money, please?
Awesome.
But that's the short of it. It did a lot for me, and it's still continuing to do a lot for me.
Man, awesome. Because not everyone can say, hey, I've landed a job and this is my dream job. I'm passionate about what I do. And I'm pretty sure not everyone can say that. But for you, is that the case for you? Like, hey, this is the job I do. I'm passionate about it. I enjoy it, and I'm getting paid doing this.
Yeah, bro. I love my job. And the thing is, like, it didn't take me to be on Shortland Street to realize that. Like, I remember when I first got the role, and I would tell people, and they would say to me, man, you made it. How does it feel? But to me, like you mentioned Pop-Up Globe, I made it when I was doing Shakespeare 5 days a week, and, doing a show in the morning, watching a show in the afternoon, doing another show in the evening, studying the text and getting paid to do that. Like, man, if you just give me that for the rest of my life, I would say I'm doing what I love.
Jeez. Because I went to the show, I saw you and TK on the stage.
TK.
Yeah, TK. And so, man, but I remember seeing you, like, man, who's this young fella coming out and doing the Shakespeare? Because not too many Islanders or Māori would kind of like be accustomed to Shakespeare. Like, I'm really well versed in Shakespeare, obviously. But you guys, when you were saying it and doing the lines and all that in the script, man, it was just kind of like just flowing out of your mouths. Like, man, it was just like second nature. Is it because it's just because you just ingrain yourself into the script or into the character, or is it because, man, this is just part of what it is? I love it. I'm just gonna just do it.
It's one of those. It's funny, because you mentioned the word to Shakespeare to anyone, and everyone just kind of has like a flinch reaction to it. And fair enough, because just the way it's introduced to people, it's normally like from some production company out in England, and they all talk like this, and they roll their R's and stuff, and that's like Gaia. Nobody wants to watch that. But I think it's I did a Shakespeare show with one of my friends who's American, and he described it pretty good. He said, like, he likened Shakespeare to, I don't play golf, but he likened it to golf. And say you do maybe an 18 rounds and it's your first time, and say like every single hit you do is fucking Gaia, like you don't get anything, but there's that one hit you get on the last round, and because of that one hit, for some reason that makes people go, oh yeah, I think I'm going to come back and give it a crack. I might give me some clubs. Now, to me, that's what, to him, that's what Shakespeare was like. It was like being able to watch something, but then finding that one little thing that you got, like that one line or that one character or that one monologue, and going, I know what that dude is saying. Man, I want to start looking at other phrases and see if I can unlock that. And then it just kind of snowballs, and then all of a sudden you're just reading plays or watching shows for fun.
Jeez. So you're saying, like, so obviously you did Shakespeare. So you were saying you kind of, it's interesting what you said. You should kind of unravel and just unwrapping some of the and kind of intricate details of the actual play, and like, oh, this is what they're actually saying. Because sometimes when I was watching, it's like, what are they actually saying?
Yeah.
But it's like you understand, but you don't understand.
Yeah, that's it. Well, you can't. Well, to be honest, you can't watch Shakespeare once and get it. Even me, as someone who knows the plays quite well, I will watch a play that I know really well and still go, oh, there's some stuff that washes over me. But I think you will get something new from it every time you watch it. And it's like, to be honest, it will be boring to some people. But I remember the first play I ever saw I ever studied was back in high school, and there's a play called Othello, and I don't know if you know about it or anything, but for anyone who doesn't, it's about this general called Othello, and he's they would call him a Moor. So in context, that would make him like someone from Africa or Arabic. So black skinned, he's a black man. And in the play, he's this black man who is in this pretty white society, but people respect him because of his service, because he's the war general, he's the top guy. And I read it at a time where, you know, I went to St. Kitts on a rugby scholarship. I was a brown kid in this white school, and I was there because of my talents. And so immediately I was like, I know what this guy is going through. So that was kind of my in to the story. And then, you know, I know that play very well, and I'll watch it today and some things will fly over my head, but I'll hear lines and I'll go, oh, I know, I get that. And like even just lines in the plays that I go, that's what my dad would say, or that reminds me of my grandfather. So there's all these little things that you can use as your in to Shakespeare.
Jeez.
That's so cool.
My man.
And yeah, I just want to backtrack a bit because I still got this visual of you in my head in terms of like you being behind the till at the cafe and you're getting that text. Is it like a lotto ticket? Like for me, it's like, oh, come and make your own coffee. It's like, what did you do? Like from there, and then,
bro, I walked up to my manager and I was like, I'm out, G.
Straight away.
Did you? Like, I did say that, but only because like I was pretty grateful to land that job, because as an actor, it's hard to work somewhere that gives you the flexibility to go out and audition, because auditions, you'll get them the day before, and then they say come in at like, I don't know, midday when everyone's meant to be working, and not many jobs will let you leave for like half an hour to do that. And so Cream Cafe was pretty good. My boss there, her name is Lolita. I think she's still there. She was real understanding, and she was like, she just recognized that I wanted to be an actor. And she was like, sweet, well, whatever we can do, we'll let you. If you need to go mid-shift, it doesn't matter if we're busy or not. You just go and do your thing. So yeah, I remember that audition process, because I remember I got the brief for it, and I opened it and I was like, oh yeah, sweet. And it said, Viliami Toa, Tongan, late 30s, early 40s. And I was like 23 or 4 at the time, man. I was like, oh shit, oh yeah, I'll give it a crack anyway. I rock up to the audition, I'm sitting in the room, and like all these older actors walk out, and I'm just like, bro, what are you doing here? Anyway, I walk into the room, I give the audition. I think that was on the Wednesday. Get the call that night going, can you go in for a callback tomorrow on the Thursday? Go in on the Thursday, and there were 3 of us for callbacks, and I was the last one. But I remember walking into the wardrobe, and they had wardrobe fittings for the 2 other actors that were there, and the first name that was on there, and God bless my brother because I love him, I've never met him, but it was Vince Harder's name on there. And I saw it and I went, well, this has been a good run. Sweet. Thank you, everyone. My name's Theo. I'll see you at the next audition. Long story short, comes the next day, the Friday, working at the till, serving the customer, probably a regular. See my phone vibrating, can't pick it up because I'm working. Go on my break, give my agent a call. She tells me, Theo, I think you're going to have to quit your job, man, because you just landed the role. And I just remember like walking down outside out into the close to like between Spotlight and the hairdressing place that was there, and just going, oh, yeah, let's go. And then I had to be on set the following Monday, so it all happened within a couple of days.
Because what day was that?
Wednesday was when I did the audition. Thursday I got the call back, and then I had to wait the whole weekend until the Monday before I got the call.
Yeah, because it was me. Remember you served me, and I remember you.
Oh, shit, I knew it. Hey.
Was it that thing? Nah.
Oh, man, what a story.
Yeah, no, I was gangster, hey.
And like you talking about that, like I feel like you speak of it real confidently, but I'm just wondering, because how old would you have been
when I got the call
when
for
you
that?
did the audition and just that whole process? Because I'm thinking, like, do you feel like an imposter?
I don't. Do you know what? I never felt like an imposter, but there were definitely times where I was like, I think I just need to call it, because there was a good 2 or 3 years where, especially during that pandemic era, where I was like, I wasn't getting any work. I felt sorry for my agent because she kept me on her books, but I wasn't bringing in any money for her. But I don't know I do know actually, because I came through Massive Theatre Company. I started with them in 2010, and that was my first year of high school. And I remember my uncle, Max Palamo, he's one of the tutors then now. And yeah, he was just like, oh, do you want to come to this workshop? And my cousins and I were just like, are there going to be girls there? And he was like, yeah, come through. So, we put on our best gears, our skinny jeans and our Windsor Smith shoes, and straightened our hair and rocked up to that week-long workshop. But I just remember going to, that whole week and kind of just, those massive really kind of takes what you think about theatre and rewrites it for you. Like, it's not conventional theatre. Like, you guys went and saw I Love You GA. You will never think of that when you think of theatre. And so that's how we worked. And I've been with Massive Company, even to this day, I've been with them since 2010. And Samantha Scott, who's the artistic director of the company, she's just like the goat of being able to tap into not only you as the actor, but just you as the person. And for a Palangi lady, she really understands what it means to be like a Pasifika youth, especially coming from South Auckland. So she she knows the culture age. Like, she knows what it means to pay for one stage, but try and ride as many stages as you can on the bus. But she demands more from you. So in saying that, because of all the training I did with Massive, none of us who came from that company ever felt like we weren't good enough. Like, we always had it in us to go on any given day. If the right person sees us, gee, we're going to run it straight and we're going to fucking bump people off.
Yeah.
And so, when it comes to the time to do the audition, it's never like, am I the right person? It's, yo, give me the mic. Like, put the spotlight on me. I'll give you something.
Jeez. Damn, that'll make me want to run through a wall.
Man.
And the thing is, like, I harp on about Massive Theatre Company all the time, but like, one of my biggest flexes, I think, is I'll come across like just random other actors, and they'll either go, did you train with Massive? Just off of how I interact with them or how we interact with them, or we'll tell them and then they'll go, oh yeah, that makes sense by how you behave or by your style. So it's I guess it's part of a lot of our identities, coming from that theatre company.
I love it because it speaks to a generation and a demographic that has so much potential, but it's untapped.
Yeah.
And then you just need the right people to speak into it, and then it unleashes this.
Yeah, it is, honestly,
this
it's
beast.
it's a weird time to be a Pasifika actor right now, because, like, in one sense we are like the hottest commodity going right now, because of like Taika Waititi and what he's doing, because of what the Tō Samoa boys did in 2022, because of Periscope, and like you'll make it as a Pasifika actor or brown actor, and then their first question to you is, how are you different from the other brown person that's doing this thing? And I never kind of understood that, because isn't the point for as many brown people to be there as possible, like regardless of what our type is? And it's extra weird for me because, like, anyone who's young and wants to work in the art space, we turn on our TVs and we see someone like Pua Mangasiva, and he sounds the same as us, and he looks the same as us, and he behaves the same as us, and we all get to where we want to be. And then the first question they ask us is, okay, how are you different? And I get the nuances of that, but I don't see anybody asking any Palangis, how are you different to the other Palangi? You know what I mean? So it's like,
just good, man.
Yeah, sometimes it comes, and sometimes it does come from our own people. They're like, you need to be different than the other brown people. But it's like, it's not about being different. It's not about being the same. It's just about being authentic and you.
That's awesome.
And that will inherently make you different.
Yeah, that's interesting also.
Yeah.
So you're saying some reporters or some journalists have just blatantly just asked you that question? Have they asked you that same question as well?
Yeah, well, like even agents, man. Agents will go, how, like, man, you'll hear every brown actor, maybe not every brown actor, maybe I'm putting words in their mouths, but like I remember looking at agents to who to sign with and who to approach, and just thinking to myself, oh, they've already got a Samoan actor, they probably won't accept me. But then it's kind of backtracking and then asking myself, going, well, why can't I sign with them even if they've already got, you know, a Samoan actor? But there's always that running joke here. It's like, oh, everyone needs to hit the brown quota. But we never really know how true that is, eh?
Yeah.
But you just have to look at agents' acting books to go, oh, okay, so because you've got the guy with the afro, you probably won't have the guy with another guy with the afro.
Yeah.
That's just an example, you know?
But what are your thoughts on it? I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on that, because if that's the case, if people are journalists or people are interviewing you and they just want to get a story of you and they ask you that question, what are your thoughts on that? Because that's I feel that quite derogatory to just say that.
On like being different
yeah,
to other...
just asking you how different are you from the next brown actor or the other
Oh, I think it's bullshit. I think it's like I said, they're not asking the Palangis that question, you know? And it's like I said, the industry's in this weird time where we are the hottest thing going, but also they just want to take the part of us that they like, or they want to take, you know, they want you to see this one person, and then all of a sudden this one person is like the representation of all of us, as if like Samoan is, you know, for example, Samoan is just the one thing, but it's not. Like a Samoan from, you know, someone from South Island is
totally different. Different
to the Samoan from South Auckland.
Yeah.
But also the Samoan who's from Manurewa is going to be different to like the Samoan who's from Maangili.
Oh, hard
So good, man.
But it's not about trying to go, oh yeah, this is what makes them different. It's just about going like, is this guy the man? Like, is this guy good enough?
That's good, man.
It's a deep dive, but I don't know if there is like a fix to that or a right answer to that, but
yeah, that's interesting.
It's good that you brought it up, because you know they can carry over into many industries or just us in particular. Like, what makes us different from another brown organization?
Yeah,
man, we're all here for people.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. Eh? It's like, fuck, just do your thing.
Yeah.
And I wonder how challenging that would be for you as well. Like, because as Pacifica, we're quite communal. And so we want everyone to go off us. So if you're getting asked that question, and if you're trying to, I guess, go with what they're, you know, trying to get out of you, you could easily be, oh, yep, I'm this way, and then you're trying to shut down or throw your other brothers under the bus. Whereas, like, as a people, we want everyone to win.
That's it. Yeah. And like, we're a vulnerable people, you know? Like, you could name a place like South Pacific Loans, and because it's got the word South Pacific in it, we'll go to it, and we, you know, like, we'll just gamble everything on that. And like, I agree with you, because you want to take the opportunity because they're very scarce for our people, and you want to get the bag, but then you kind of shut off. It shuts off everyone else, because now the industry knows that, oh yeah, we can go to this guy because he'll always say yes, and he won't try and rebel against us because he's just after the bag.
I don't want to get you in trouble.
Go on.
No, but it's cool. Even if you do take the opportunities, I think for a generation that's looking on screen and looking at you, it's like, man, if we can do it, we can do it.
Yeah,
and so,
that's true.
Hopefully people that, I don't know what you're like in terms of your ethics and integrity, like hopefully getting the bag that's right for you and that doesn't like change the way you are, or, you know, because just talking to you, like, and meeting you, man, this boy is, you know, you can tell this guy's from the hood. He's one of us.
Hey, and there are people, there are people who have gone before us that have, you know, unfortunately, but also fortunately, they have made the mistakes so that we can go, probably don't do that, or, you know, probably don't behave that way. But it's just this mentality. It's like, when it comes to, I'm pretty competitive too. Like, I like to, you know, I'm not gonna lie, I like to win. I like to be ahead. But it's not, I'm not ever jealous of anyone else either. Like, you know, if another Samoan actor gets the thing, I'm like, yo, shot, that's gangster. but then it's also just going in the back of your head. Like again, like man, like enjoy it while the spotlight's on you, because you know when your time is finished, like when you're done, and it needs to go on someone else. Like I'm gonna be right there, also, and
That's awesome.
I'm gonna carry what you just, I'm gonna carry it further than you.
Yeah, man.
And that keeps the competition healthy, because it sharpens your your skill set.
Yeah. What is it like? All boats rise on the high tide or something. Yeah.
Rising tide raises all ships.
That's good, man.
Oh, this guy's on, bro. Oh, I want to talk about your Troy Bolton days.
Yeah.
Because you got your scholarship to St. Ken's for rugby, and we could have been watching you, playing on the field for Auckland Blues or whatever. But what was that like for you in terms of the transition? Was it because you fell in love with acting, or massive injury happened?
I think,
did you get hemorrhoid? Sorry, we were talking about the...
I just looked at you by instinct. I didn't look at you because something happened. I just went like that just because I had something. It was a lot of everything. I remember I had made the first 15. I went to St. Kitts on a rugby scholarship, and long story short, I made the first 15. I was on the bench, but I think I was playing good footy. I mean, I deserved to be on the bench because I played second five, and TJ Faiane, shout out TJ Faiane, was like the best player in the country at that point, and we were lucky to have him, man. But I remember when I was year 11, I must have gotten like 4 concussions that year, and almost got a 5th one from my mum for not telling her about the first 4. But that certainly made the decision easier. But during that time anyway, I was doing drama at school, and our first 15 program at the time was like, it was semi-professional. It was training 5 times a week, playing on the Saturday, and then recovery on the Sunday. Tyler Vere was our coach. He's probably one of the best coaches I ever played under. But to succeed in that program, you had to be 100% an A. And I wasn't. I was like more into my drama at the time than I was into the rugby. And I was on a rugby scholarship, so this was kind of like a scary thing for me. And I remember I was doing a production that year, and I didn't tell the coaches of the rugby team that I was doing it. So like we would rehearse two nights a week, obviously on the same days that we were training. And I would have to like tell Ty, I'd go, oh, sorry, so I got a chemistry internal that I have to go and do. I just have to find out how much vitamin C is in this thing they were doing. But I was going and putting on the spandex and dancing around the stage. But I remember when it eventually came time to tell him about it, he was like very gracious. He was just a bro about it. I sat him down and I was like, Coach, I'm not all in on this program. And the biggest shock was to me, because he looked at me and he said, I know, like I can tell, and I'm happy that you made this decision, because we didn't want to have to make it for you. And long story short, they changed my rugby scholarship to a drama one. They let me stay there. I got to do all the productions in my last 2 years. Got to support the boys on the field. I was at the boarding house with a lot of the rugby boys too, so none of those friendship changed. Like I'm still friends with them to this day. Sam Nock was in the team. Suliasi Vunivalu was in the team. Blake Gibson was in the team. And this was like the golden era of schoolboy rugby. I reckon, games were getting televised. Yeah. That was when we had that 3-peat going too. But this was also when we were allegedly poaching players as well. But that's, from the south, from where all the talent is, That's right.
My long time.
Shuttles. Man, I feel like that's a movie, man. High School Musical Southside story.
The Southside version.
The Southside version.
But I think it's a common story, for like the more I listen to your guys' podcast, especially like I heard Nick Arfour talk about how, he was a New Zealand rep rugby player.
So true.
And now he's got to play Simba. And even Beulah, like I'm sure he was playing first 15 at Tangaroa, and I'll look at him.
That's cool.
It's like our calling.
And I can only imagine the tension it would have in terms of like what the parents want for you. Because it's like, I want you to be an All Black versus like, oh, I want to be an actor.
Yeah, and it's like, especially when you're like as fortunate enough, you know, if you're fortunate to get a scholarship to a school to play rugby, no fees, and you know, not that I was, but say like you are someone who's projected to make Auckland Blues and to make, you know, big money and to do something you love every day, and then imagine turning around to your parents and going, it's like those Disney Channel movies, where the kid gets drafted, is projected to draft number 1, but then they turn around and they go, Mum, nah, I want to jump rope or something. And they're going, son, you're going to get paid all this money to do this thing. Nah, I don't want it. I want to jump rope, and I want you to pay for everything for me. So it was, and especially like some Samoan parents, they're different, man. Yeah, it's always like the lawyer or
the doctor,
doctor.
And I love it.
But fair enough. Man, they came here.
Want the best for you.
They came here on a dream, not even their dream. They came here for us, and you know, and it must, like thinking about it now, it must be a journey for them. Like I don't think you listen to your son say that they want to do this acting thing, and like sleep on it. Like you must, especially when you're struggling, like I was for 3 years, and like I can only imagine my mum looking at me going,
I came all the way.
Yeah.
And you're wearing tights.
Hey, son.
But I love your story, because for a lot of our Pasifika that have that dream or that switch in dream, but they don't have that understanding or that support from their parents, and so it's easy to put their dream to bed. Yeah. And so for someone like you, it's like there was something that pushed you to pursue this acting dream, and then also like even through the hardest times, 3 years, probably multiple auditions, you still you still had to strive. What was it?
I think it must have been a lot of things. Like I can't pinpoint it to one thing. What I do remember though is I remember going through COVID, and you know, we were all in lockdown, and it felt like just nothing was happening. And I just remember like we were all put in lockdown, coming out of it. If we don't come out of it and not want to do anything with our lives, then we might as well stay in lockdown forever. You know, you can't just like, it's that kind of thrive versus survive mentality, you know? It's like, if I'm going to come out of this lockdown, then I need to project something for myself. And luckily, you know, like I said, I just have that kind of run it straight mentality, where like if I'm going to lock in on something, I'm gonna give myself the best shot at it. So that way, if I don't hit it, then I can go like, oh yeah, I gave it a crack, and I can know for sure that I didn't do it. But like, you know, I'm just very passionate about passion. Like to me, being alive and being not dead are two different things, because you can be not dead and just walking through life and just going through the motions, but you're not like alive, or you're not like, there's no vitality to your life. And even in saying that, there are people who are dead today whose effects on our lives we're still feeling. So it's just kind of coming to terms with that and just kind of going, okay, what is the thing that like gives me life, gives me life? And I think a lot of people think, I listened to this lady, her name's Esther Perel. She's a psychotherapist on relationships, but her big thing is that the antidote to death isn't life. The antidote to death is passion, because when you find what you're passionate about, then that just, you know, that breathes life into you. And coming out of lockdown, I was like, fuck, I really love this acting thing, And I wake up and I'm excited to do this, and you know, this is gonna help. This helps put me in a secure state, like financially, but don't get it twisted. Like, I love this thing, and I studied this. Like, this is what I do. This is my craft, and it's different for everyone. Like, it's probably the same for rugby players and stuff who get up in the morning, who are just excited to do the thing.
Jeez, man, I love you. I love your attitude, Uzu. I love your attitude. I love the passion. And obviously, you don't have to convince us that in terms of vitality and your passion, because it exudes even when we saw you at the back there. Man, just the passion. Obviously, it's not a job. Yeah. In terms of what you do, it's a passion, and I love it that you kind of like you set like, hey, this is the goal. I'm going to go for it. I love the competitiveness. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that's awesome. Yeah. But also at the same time, also because I know our parents, going back to our parents, that they have expectations, and we're all kind of Well, good intentions also, but I just want to know about your expectations. What are some of the expectations you have for yourself in terms of pursuing the career that you're headed towards, but also your passion? What kind of expectations have you put on yourself to do what you do?
I'm a big dreamer. Like if I'm gonna, especially in this acting thing, I think you can make a living in New Zealand, but if you love this and this is what you want to do, then you have to look past New Zealand, eh? And like my biggest dream is to play a superhero in a Marvel movie and to like lead it. Like if the movie's called Magneto, like I want to be Magneto, and that's just something I set for myself.
That's me.
And that's like the biggest dream that I have. But I just think that you have to set these high expectations for yourself, because you don't get anywhere in life without first picturing yourself there. And, you will hear people go on anything and say, oh, I never in a million years would have thought I'd do this. Bullshit. No, of course you pictured yourself there. Ask any actor right now and we will tell you we all have our Oscars speech written out right now. Yeah. And we recite it in our cars. The Graham Norton show, we all know who we're going to be on the couch with. Ask any of us. It's just, I don't know. And it's not, and if it doesn't happen, then like that's on me. Like that's, I know I'm comfortable with failing as long as I know I gave it a crack. Like as long as I know I set my expectations way up there. And that's just for like, I'm saying it out loud now, but that is just something for me to know, for us to know. Like you don't need to share that. I think manifestation is like it's like a buzzword nowadays, eh? You say that and automatically you kind of just sound like you know what you're talking about. But no, I just think nothing substitutes hard work, eh? Like if you're putting in that mahi, if you're doing the hours, then you will get there. But yeah, you don't get anywhere in life without first expecting it to happen to you. And it's just that thing of like the world is just playing catch up. Like your mind is there. You're there and it's bigger than like I hope I make it. It's bigger than like it feels like I'm gonna make it. You just have to know. Like you have to know like what it smells like to be there. You have to know what it looks like. You have to know who's there with you. Yeah.
Damn.
That's just like you just have
honestly, that's so contagious. I felt where's a walk? Is there walking?
And you know what? I get
honestly,
I get motivation from like the weirdest, buzziest places, eh? Like I remember watching the Michael Jordan The Last Dance one. Ooh. And there was that moment where he played a bad game and he said that his opposing player was like, oh, better luck next time. And then, Michael Jordan came around the next game and dropped 50 on him. And then it turns out that the player didn't even say that to Michael Jordan. He just made that up in his own head.
That's crazy.
And like it takes like a little bit of delusion to picture yourself somewhere like that, because not everyone's going to buy in. But you don't need anyone to buy into it, eh? You just got to... I watch a video clip I watch a lot of is, I don't know if it's a Drake song. It's called Laugh Now, Cry Later. And the video clip for it is him at the Nike factory. It's him hanging out with like Marshawn Lynch. It's him hanging out with Kevin Durant. And like I'll watch that and I'll just go, like, why not dream of stuff like that, eh? Even though it's so far. You just go, you just gotta aim. You just gotta aim there.
Bro, that's cool, man. But what do you think, Theo? Because I love what you say. Obviously, dream big. We hear all the time, man, dream big. People tell us, you have some people like kind of come by your side and say, hey, dream big, you can do this and that. But why is it? Do you think there's a lot of us in our beautiful nation don't have that push, or don't have that kind of mindset, or more so our Pacific and Māori men? What do you think? What do you see out there that hinders us from dreaming big?
I think I think a lot of the time we try to do too much too soon. I think as Pacifica men, we want to save our families, eh? First and foremost, we want to put them on our back and we just want to carry them. But that's heavy, man. Like you can only get so far with that much weight on your shoulders. And for me, it's about, I know what the big dream is, but I also know like, okay, what's the first step to getting there? And I think, do you know what? I think that's why a lot of sports people make it far in acting, because we come from this background where we come from like a training background, from the gym. Like, I know if I do this many sets for this many reps, this is going to be the guaranteed outcome. I know if I, run at this dude's inside shoulder and this guy comes to me, he's probably going to hit the back door on me. And it's about thinking of your career like that. It's going, okay, what's the math of my career? So I know the big picture's there, but like, okay, so how do I, like, this is just a small example. They've got the House of the Dragon premiere tomorrow, and some of us got invited to it. I had no intentions of going to that, but I know that if I can get my name connected to that show, or someone there might be connected to the show, then I know this like little step might mean a bigger step in the long run. And it's not about, it's not about me just going, okay, that's my big dream there, I'm going to shoot for that now. It's literally just about going, okay, what's the thing I can do today? Even what's the thing I can do now that kind of makes me a little bit better.
That's awesome. I always think about this quote that like everyone wants the promise, but no one wants to go through the process. And so what you're talking about is that like there's this dream, there's this goal, but in order to get there, you got to take these steps. You got to go through the process and trust it, because like anything, if we're like, I'm quite overweight at the moment, but if you get a gym program, you can't picture you having abs looking like The Rock without putting in the reps.
But and it's hard. It's also hard.
It's
like
hard work.
the prospect of doing that is hard, and it's not that we don't know that it's hard. It's that we do that. We do know it's hard, and it's just going, I'm not fucking doing that. And we are in an age now where like we're wanting to find the secret, like what's the the secret pill to doing
Get
it?
us there faster.
Yeah, what's the one bit of information I can ingest today that makes me get there? But yeah, you the secret to life is that there's no secret. You know what you have to do. You gotta drink enough water, like one day, and that's a good start to anything.
But I love your dreams, and I love where you see yourself. You're picturing it, because man, like for us, that just listening to it and just listening to your mindset, it's like, I believe that, man. One day you're
thanks,
gonna be
G.
there. And so I have a question before Pete shoots his question. It's like, when you're on the Graham Norton show, who do you envision yourself sitting next to you?
Ooh, I think I'll go. The Rock will be.
So I'll be there. Oh, okay. The Rock, okay, yeah.
I want the Rock there. I want Barack Obama there. And there's normally one more, eh?
There was
I want Barack
a
Obama
female.
there.
The female?
And but do you know Bubba? Her name's Sienni.
Yeah, the comedian. Yeah,
She's my best friend. She's gonna be my best person when I get married. She's gonna be. I want her there with me too. And if he was alive, I'd want Prince to be my musical guest. Man,
it'll be bad, bro.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool. Sorry, and while we're still talking about this, can you give us a snippet of your Oscar speech?
First of all, I just want to thank my wife, because hopefully I have enough money to marry by then, for staying at home with all our kids and doing the hard yards and changing all the nappies while I get to come to work every day and do the thing that I love and not have to worry about, all of that, because I think the partners are always the ones that cop the shitty end of anyone who's trying to fight for their dreams. And just on the record, shout out to my partner, who's also recognized that I really want to do this thing, and has stuck it out for me. Because I reckon it is a journey for anyone who wants to date an actor. It's because jobs are scarce, but they also don't go for very long either.
Jeez,
I love that.
So you do right at the end of your speech and God bless.
And and thanks to my mum. And
And shout out to the Mandate boys.
Go get checked for your hemorrhoids.
And who's presenting the award to you?
Ooh. Hopefully Denzel, if he's still alive, eh?
Denzel, man.
He's probably up there for all of us.
He played with Elu too, eh?
Yeah.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, good one too.
I gotta watch it.
Jeez, man. I tell you what, Theo, I think I'm just taking it back also. I didn't realize in terms of when you had us up and all that, and then Charles, but also just the mindset. There must be something in terms of massive, in terms of the whole theatre company, that it seems like you got that kind of mindset and that kind of real not persona, but attitude, like Bule. It's got that kind of there's something about in terms of you guys are driven, you guys are passionate, but also there's a fire in the belly also. And I love that the ultimate goal for you is to make it in Hollywood. Obviously, in terms of Marvel characters, all that kind of stuff, but in terms of the roles that you get, how do you, in terms of, because some people get pigeonholed in terms of like, okay, this is the roles you're going to get, and this is who you're going to play, get the similar roles. What kind of role? Obviously, we got Marvel, but what kind of character do you one day would hope to play? Like, this is the character I want. This is the role that I would love to have.
I've always well, first off, I think the first one that comes to my head is like I'm not getting any younger, and I think one role I'm going to tick off before I'm 30, God willing, Romeo and Juliet, just because, it's just one of, like, I just say the name and everybody already has kind of, they have connotations of what they think the play is about. And Romeo's not meant to be an old fella. And I want to be able to play him while I've still got this fire in my belly, while I've still got some youth about me. So there was that. But I've always been a fan of like romantic comedies. I just always love like the lover character. One, because they're the lover character and there's a little bit of comedy there. But I think we're in like a time now where you can start to be like a little bit experimental with like genres in terms of movies. Like you can, like a movie, like I don't know if you've seen Get Out, you know the movie Get Out?
Yeah.
Jordan Peele did it. That was
that
was like a horror movie, but it was kind of rooted in like racism as the horror. And so you get these like genres kind of branching out and you like everything everywhere all at once. I don't know if you've seen that movie. That's like a sci-fi movie that ends up being quite a deep story. So I'd love to be like a romantic lead, but tragic, like someone who's not meant to be in a romantic comedy. I don't know if that answers your question.
No, that's
like
good. That's good. I like
cool.
that. Yeah. Because in terms of the psyche of someone who's acting, obviously there's, I don't know, what kind of style do you have in terms of as an actor? Obviously you hear like method acting and all that kind of stuff. What kind of style do you have, or what kind of, in terms of preparation?
I definitely like to start with the script in hand, like the words on the page for me. I haven't had to go method in anything that I've had to do because just the content hasn't asked for it. But I'm definitely an imagination person. Like I try to stay away from using real stuff to fuel my performance. I always go back to Massive, but one of their principles is this idea of loving to pretend. And it's kind of just saying that it doesn't matter how dark the role is or how joyful the role is, there has to be a part of you that loves to be this. And like over Christmas time at Shorty's, we had a storyline where my character kind of came to light that my character was sexually abused by his coach back in the day, and then he sees his coach again, and then it all comes up for him, and it kind of it culminated in the scene where my character finally tells his fiance, like, I'm sorry, babe, I've been so distant because, all this fucked up shit happened to me. And I remember shooting that day, and like in the script it said Villy breaks down and is like inconsolable, which basically means just like tears on tears. And I just remember reading the words that day and going, I think this writing is good enough to get me there on its own. Like I didn't need to, think about a funeral that I went to, or I didn't need to put myself through anything. It was like, all right, today it feels right that I can do this. And I'm not saying there's a wrong way to get the performance out of you. even like method acting, I think method acting gets has a strong connotation attached to it because it means like, you go home and, if your character is an abuser, then you go home and abuse. I don't think that's not what method acting is. Yeah, because you hear that a lot. I'll do my job. But I think it goes one step deeper because like whatever is safe for you and the people around you is the right way to do it. Because like, man, real talk, we've lost a lot of actors because they probably didn't know how to handle, the roles they were doing, or they didn't have the right support systems in place. And there is some dark content out there, and I really applaud people who are able to dig and find that.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I saw that scene. Could have handed it to you. So that was good, man.
Oh, thank you.
I saw you crying. Oh man, just because it is. Because I think it's one of the hardest things. I don't know. And you obviously you're an actor. It's one of the hardest things is just to cry. Drop of a hat, like just to cry on the spot.
I'll be honest, I can't cry on the spot, Like if you tell me I can't do it right now, like I said, I need the words on the page to be able to go, oh yeah, this is gonna saying these words like act really affects me in this moment, so I can do it. But also in saying that, like, it's like good acting is not when the actor cries. Good acting is when the audience cries. And the actor doesn't have to cry to do that. Like there are heaps of examples of when you've probably been at the movies and,
you've been at the movies and you just pretend you're not crying, but you're like,
like that, those ones,
When my kids are there, and I'm looking.
But yeah, but no, thank you for that.
Oh,
like I mean, you just watch Bueller and anything, and just the amount of passion he has, you just want to gangi anyway. Like,
have you ever used acting on family or your wife? Or your missus when she's actually to do so?
If you ever propelled jokes.
Never. We get asked that a lot. Like, they're always like, you meet someone and you go, oh, I'm an actor. And they go, oh, are you acting right now? It's like, first of all, acting is what I get paid to do. Are you paying me right now? Because I will.
You're a plumber. Can you plumb right now?
No, I've never used acting in everyday life. I mean, if anything, we all just kind of play different versions of ourselves when the situation arises, Especially as brown people, we know when we need a code switch in the rooms,
That's me.
Yeah. You put your white voice on and you need a...
Can we listen to your one? What's your...
Oh, I thought I was doing it.
Can we try something? Can we get a Zoom in? I want us to just get in the zone, this little game, okay?
Go on.
We're all going to try and cry. But I want Pete to go first. Sorry, I forgot. Pete's an actor.
I'm not an actor, man.
Okay.
You start.
We're going to try? We'll go with Pete.
We're going to cry.
Yeah, 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay. Try to be serious.
Yeah. Do I have to say anything? Or just...
So you interpret, actors, creative, you interpret it how you want. I'm sorry.
Should we finish the game now?
Yeah, that's it. We'll finish the game now. You're the winner.
Who's next? There.
I'll tell you right now, I can't do that. I admire people who can, and it always looks so real. It's like, far out. I wish I could do it, but
man.
Okay,
good Charles. Yeah, man, that's a good one, man.
Nah, sorry. Sorry. We'll carry on. I'm sorry. That was good. But thank you for participating in the game.
Jeez, dude.
Oh, man. But speak about crying also, because obviously acting and the passion, has there ever been a moment where the passion has kind of felt like kind of dwindled at times? Obviously, you had lockdown, pandemic, and it would have been very hard mentally as well and emotionally. But also tell us, because it'd be interesting. It'd be nice for us to kind of gauge from yourself and from your own words in terms of some of the hardships that you've gone through as an actor, but even beyond that, in terms of life and in general. Has there even been some moments where you're like, man, life sucks at the moment?
Yeah, far. I remember 2019 is a year that sticks out to me, because I was living in Huntley at the time with my uncle Max and my auntie, and some stuff happened there. I hurt some people close to me, pushed some people away, and yeah, just kind of like the opposite to how I am now. I just had no life force at all, and I don't think I was ever depressed, but I do remember like waking up some mornings and thinking, damn, I woke up today. Like, why couldn't I have just gone in my sleep? And I that was 2019. That was before lockdown. And I remember I was living in Huntley. I moved back to Clinton. I moved back onto mum's couch, and for something that's so common for our people to move back home to my parents, I was so defeated by that. I was like, why the fuck am I back here? Like, how did I go like overseas and do all these shows? And how did I do, the Jonah TV series? And how am I like back on my mum's fucking couch? And us men, we like to hide it and stuff, but it was so bad that like people noticed. And I remember I woke up one night and I walked past my mum's room, and I heard I heard her pray for me. And you always think about it. You go, oh man, my mum's prayers saved me so many more times than I can imagine. But I remember walking past my mum's room and hearing her say, "Please, Lord, my son is lost. Can you guide him?" And I just remember thinking, like, how can I be ungrateful now? But this lady here is on her knees, kakaluing to our, to the Lord to save me. And I just remember hearing that and going, okay, this is something bigger than me now. And then, 2020 rolls around, we go into lockdown, still feeling a little bit passionless, but also reminding myself that there are things that do bring me even little bits of joy, whether it's watching Avengers for the 100th time, or putting on the perfume that I always wear just to give me some sense of oh yeah, I recognize this feeling. But it's always come back to that idea of what is the thing that makes you passionate. And it can be the big thing like your craft, or it can be those little things like, packing a lunch for you that day that you look forward to, or watching a movie, a reaction trailer to a movie that gets you hyped.
Jeez, because what was happening at the time, Theo? Was it because you were getting any parts or just work? Or
it was that. I was like, fuck, I was moku as, I was broke as. I remember I got my auntie's car towed from her, got my license fucking suspended, So I was like, bro, what are you up to? Who is this dude? And I just remember letting all of that kind of get to me. And yeah, it's weird, bad stuff happens to you, and then you think all of a sudden you make all these bad things your personality, and you buy into it, and you go, oh, if this is what's going to happen to me, then I'm going to behave like this. And the hardest thing is to break that, is to not play the part that you're in, especially if it's weighing you down like that. And it's just being able to see beyond that. And it might take a moment like hearing your mum pray, or it might take you something worse. It might take you getting arrested or something.
That's cool, man. I appreciate that. Also, thanks for sharing that. So when was the kind of the turning point in terms of when the passion started to kind of reignite again? When was the?
It probably wasn't until the 2021 lockdown. Do you remember we went in for 2 weeks and then we came out and then we went back in again? And I remember in that 1 week, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to practice. I'm just going to practice this monologue, and I'll just see how good I can get it. And I remember doing it, and then I had this little spark at the end of that week, and then we went back into the lockdown. But I don't remember feeling defeated by it. I mean, I wouldn't trade any of the lives that we lost all over the world just so I could have that moment. But like I said, if you're gonna put us in lockdown, you might as well come out of it better. And so I remember going into that second lockdown, just going, oh yo, I can't wait to get into that audition room. And I just I read I read Shakespeare plays for fun now, because that's what brings me joy, and I like to read people's theses on it. Like I'm reading one now, like some lady wrote it in like the 90s, and I'm just reading it because I'm super interested by it.
That's so cool.
Well, that's what it is, and it is like you mentioned your crafts, and you just working on your craft. You're always refining your craft.
Yeah, that's it. That's like, man, if you can just do something every day that pushes you further along the track. And I'm super fortunate that like I get to act 5 days, Monday to Friday, I get to act. So I get to train 5 days a week, and they're always giving us new scripts. So it's never the same thing every day.
Yeah, man.
Post pandemic too, it's not easy to hold an arts job in like a pandemic era. It's very lucky.
So true.
Well done, man. That's well, kudos to you, because it is because I know a lot of people think in terms of acting, and that's your the pathway that you choose. People often think, and then some people think, sometimes our parents don't understand in terms of, get a real job. Get a real job, all that kind of stuff. But it is, I think, it takes it takes a special person to kind of stay in the game, so to speak, and carry on, and even stick through the hard times. Because I can imagine, we obviously the pandemic lockdown was a hard time for everyone. But I love your mindset, that mindset of, okay, I'm here anyway, but once the lockdown is over, the mandate's over, I'm just going to push through, and I'm just going to conquer this. And so your competitive nature, where's that from? Is that from a relative, mum or dad, or is that something that you kind of always had, or is it something that you kind of have had to learn?
I definitely think something I had to learn, because I remember just growing up, it's always like humility, like, you always just got to be humble, just have more than you show, say less than you know. But it was just, and to me, it's like I got this fire in me, and I say I'm competitive, but I'm not trying to play that. Like, it's just, I just am that. And like I said, I think it does come from having like that rugby background, plus going to massive theatre company, because they really make you believe that, man, you got it. You are not even you are enough. You got it. You're and I've never tried to, play the humble card, and I think there's a lot of confusion, because a lot of people think humility is the opposite of arrogance, and arrogance is the opposite of humility, but authenticity is the opposite of both, and that's what you need to be. And if you are that, then the other things come after that. Like, if you can just be yourself, then nobody's gonna question you on that. And you can be yourself and be humble, and nobody's gonna question you on that, because you are yourself. Or you can be yourself and be arrogant, but nobody's gonna care, because you're being yourself. And like, that's easier said than done. Like, that's just a thing that you have to work on every day. Like, it's, some days you wake up and you just want to fake it till you make it.
Jeez. And do you think, obviously you go back to big dreams, obviously you're a big dreamer. Do you think it's because of that humility that we've been taught, or per se that we've been, that we know we're accustomed to, as to why a lot of us don't push through and go for those big dreams?
I think so. I think we're scared of the humiliation, we're scared of the failure, that if we take a risk on this big thing and we fall, then our people are whakakala, the word's going to spread. And we're going to get all the muckers when we walk around. So there's a lot of that. I think we're just scared of failure, and we're scared of where we're going to land. And I don't think we want anybody to talk about us badly. But I think we just do a disservice to ourselves if we don't go for the thing.
Do you think, because I always, when I talk to another South Aucklander and someone that's like pushing through the perceived circumstances that we live in, I think about, our young people from the hood. Do you think being exposed to different experiences, opportunities, sort of makes them think bigger, or the limited exposure keeps them in the box?
Yeah, I think so. I think, yeah, like, that's why a lot of us just want to play rugby, because that's all kind of we grow up seeing on the TV, and we go to even our high schools, and it's like it's no like a lot of like South Auckland, for example, a lot of other regions just view us as like the sporting, the sports. So all the scouts go to pick their rugby players, and supposedly where all the sports people come from, but I still think it comes back to that thing of like we're just scared to be humiliated, because I reckon for every rugby player that's playing in South Auckland right now, there is someone who wants to be in the arts, or there is someone who wants to fight for climate change. But man, I say you get mocked if you say that stuff. And yeah, I think you're right. I think because the scope of our people is so narrow that we're only going to go that way. I don't know how you fix that. I don't know if that's on us. I don't know if that's if that's on the other people.
So because I'm also thinking, oh man, I don't want to talk about have you heard of the flea parable? Or
Go on.
Or the analogy. I'm going to give it a try because it's a long one. But and I always think about our South Aucklanders, and I think about our Pacifica. So they said there was a scientific experiment that was done where scientists took all these fleas, put it in a jar. And so naturally a flea has this, it can jump 100 times more than its height. So, flea from here, there, if you convert it to a human being, it's like the
vertical jump.
Vertical jump as high as. And so the experiment was he took a flea, bunch of fleas, put it in a jar, and because there's now a limit placed on them, it jumps and it hits a ceiling.
Right.
And it keeps on hitting it. And then now it's adjusting. And because it knows there's a limit, it adjusts, and it just jumps just before it hits the ceiling. And then the scientists took the lid off, and then now that flea is still jumping to its limitations, where naturally it was born to jump higher. And then but I remember this guy, he was sharing to me this parable where he goes like, there's so much limitations that have been placed on us, a lid that's been placed on, where we only now jump as high to this invisible ceiling that because these limits are placed on us, we don't jump higher than what we were born to do. And part of that science experiment also was that these fleas have kids, and because it sees their relatives, their families jumping to a limit, they all jump like that. But I guess the encouragement was like, lift the lid. We're meant to jump higher than what we were
being taught.
I love that.
And so when I think about your story and what you're sharing, like a company like what was the massive company, man, they're teaching you to jump.
Do you know
to
what?
lift the
That's
lid.
so
you
true.
know?
And they're not like they're not doing it like on purpose. I think it's just through the way they work that kind of just makes us go far out.
Sorry,
I love.
Can we edit that?
Nah, you gotta keep it.
It's good.
That's the thing. Like you said, it like if we see our parents do it, then we're gonna do it. But it just takes that one person, to go to demand more of you, and then all of a sudden you're jumping past the invisible ceiling.
Yo.
Jeez.
I
like that.
I thought of that because of just your journey and then how you speak about life. And then I'm thinking about the youngins, like, man, if you speak this into them, they can jump beyond their circumstances, beyond their limitations that have been placed on them, either systemically or the conditions that were, that we were raised in. So, yeah, I feel like, man, your story, this podcast, this episode will really help lift the lid for a lot of or for anyone that's watching this episode. So I appreciate you.
Thanks, man. No, I think it takes a lot of. I think it takes a lot of bravery to do that because for some of us you kind of go against everything, like you go against your family to do this thing, and that's kind of non-negotiable for people. Like a lot of people will make family their tempo and everything they do in life is for that, and that's like fair enough. Like if you want to do that, like all goods, but you got to be brave because it's scary, and you might not make it. Like,
that's cool.
Some good thoughts, man.
And they, our families and our loved ones, they might not understand that at the time, but when you break through, they see it and they go, "Oh, I always told him."
Yeah, I knew it. I came to your shows.
But you have to be courageous. You got to be bold. You got want to stand up from the crowd. And like when we started, when we started this podcast, man, it was like no one's gonna listen. No one's gonna listen to us. But in terms of like where we want to go, and then the process, and the also and his wife just really pushing us to like, man, got to pivot. It's important. Even if one person is listening,
that's it,
and they get impacted by it, man. We're doing our job, so I love it. I love these conversations. I love us sharpening each other.
Yeah,
iron sharpen iron, man. It is, but it is. I like what you said because I think it resonates with all of us. Brad, Kiona, and obviously Charles and Jamin, who's not here. But it takes a lot of courage to do, to step out and go against the grain. And there are going to be some people who don't even like what you do or don't even like what you stand for. And like, and for I don't know, for whatever reason. But it does take a lot of courage. And what you're doing right now in terms of your acting and the passion that you're pursuing, the career you're pursuing, it takes a lot of courage. And like Charles was saying, you're pretty literally blowing that lid. And so when you blow that lid, people are going to like you, going to love you. But also at the same token, also a lot of young budding artists are looking at, oh my gosh, or actors like, man, Theo, I want to be like Theo. And so with that, do you feel like you automatically become a role model and the pressure to become a role model also?
I think short answer, yes. I think, but to no fault of my own or anyone else's. But it's a tricky line because, like I said, like as long as you are being yourself, then like the way other people view you doesn't really matter. I mean, there are nuances to that, but as long as you you're into the world as through you, then that's fine. Like I don't wake up every day and go, I can't wait to be a role model to all these kids watching me. I wake up in the morning and I go, I can't wait to be a good father and a good actor, and then hopefully the people that see that are able to take inspiration from that, like if that makes sense. It's a bonus if I can inspire people, and at the end of the day what I do hopefully does inspire someone. But like I think it's too much pressure for anyone to try to be everything for their community, for their family. And I mean, just by nature, like it takes, from when we were young, it takes a village to raise a child. And I think that's true throughout your whole life. Like you're never going to be everything to one person, whether that's like your relationship with people or that's to, the kid that's watching you for the first time. Like I just have to know that I'm doing the best that I can at my thing, and hopefully you see that and take something from that. But my goal is not to be the end thing yet. My goal is not to necessarily be the role model. It's to be the best thing that I am at now.
Cool, man.
And hopefully that bar there is, that's where all the magic happens.
Yeah, well said, man. Well said. And sometimes you become a role model because by default, because
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
on
yeah.
telling people, oh,
Yeah.
Theo, and so and it's sad because sometimes people like look at you and then they can scrutinize you if you do something, if you make a mistake. Oh, that's the guy who was an actor, blah blah blah. You get all that kind of unnecessary pressure as well. So, but yeah, good answer. I like how you.
But don't get me wrong. Like we are, it's different for us as well because as Samoans, it's just in our blood, to want to like carry everyone with us, even though that's impossible. Even though it takes a village to carry a village, but. Yeah, like I remember doing shows at the Pop-Up Globe and, doing Shakespeare, and we'd get like Audire College come in, and at the show that we were doing at the time was very Pacifica influenced. And I remember seeing them dawdle in, and a lot of our costume was like iwhaikangas, and, we had the ilis out in the show, and just seeing them go, oh, like, is this what this can be? Like, that was magical. But even then it was like, man, I just want to do the best I can at this thing. And then hopefully, that kind of reverberates out into the world as well.
Man, my Lord.
No, I love that. And just on that thought around, being a role model, because that's so much weight to carry, and it ends up we're not celebrities or anything, but people that have standing in the community, it's easy for you to put that pressure on you, and then you end up being someone you're not.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
See,
today
that's
you end up being fake. So I always like think of like when people think about role models, just be a real model.
Yeah.
Just be you, be real,
Facts. And I won't lie, like even though I'm on everyone's televisions most nights, like don't get it twisted. Like my job is easy, like all I do is put on clothes and say words, maybe feel something, and then I get to go home every day to like the family that I love so much. So I guess I'm kind of like, I respect my craft a lot, but at the same time I know that like it's not a hard job. Like this is not something that cracks my bones every day. I'm not in a factory packing orders. I'm not, having to mow these massive fields. Like I'm very privileged to do what I do and to be able to make money doing it. And I think you can fall into the trap as an actor, even in our industry, to go, oh, I'm the one who's being seen on the camera. So, I need to be, you have a desire to be heard. You have a desire to be at the front of everything. But even just in our little industry, like, man, when you press pause on a movie and the frame is on the TV, anywhere from 30 people to 100 people have a hand in what you are looking at. Like, the director's craft is at play. The cameraman's craft is at play. The lighting people, they went, 90% of them went to study this thing to all help tell the story. And I think as actors sometimes, and I was guilty of it probably early in my career, of thinking, oh, I'm the face of this, so I'm the one that needs to be heard. The things that I say need to matter. But that's just not the case. So I guess in like, to kind of go off what you're saying, like I guess that's also why I'm not super comfortable being a role model right now too, because like, man, like my job is, it's like in the scheme of things, it's nothing. Like it's, I play my job. I pretend for a living is my job. Like there are people out there who are like literally saving lives that you will never hear of, but who should be at the forefront of like all the magazines, and we should be seeing them on our televisions and stuff. Yeah. I never get it twisted. Like my job is easy.
Gee.
I see the dude collecting my rubbish on Wednesday, and I go, "Fuck, that's the dude there you need to look up to. Look at this dude, rain or shine, he's out there making sure that none of our lapisi is fucking stinking up the place."
That's me. Sure, also.
Yeah, but hey, but nothing taken also. Hey, your job is still, hey, the thing you're doing is still amazing in terms of your craft.
Thank you.
Craft is amazing. And so I've heard you talk about your family quite a few times. Obviously, you get the one child?
One child, yes.
You get one child. And obviously your wife. How much of that has kind of taken you in terms of, not by surprise, but in terms of obviously the acting has changed your life dramatically, but also having a child and your missus. So tell us a little bit about the changes being a father, but also with your partner.
Man, I love being a dad, and I love seeing my partner step into motherhood. Like she really is the pillar of our house. I remember the day my son was born so vividly. Yeah. Like you guys have kids, you remember it, like especially your firstborn. Like there's you before they're born and there's you after, and they're two completely different people. Like for me, being a man in this day and age is when you can let go of whatever trauma, whatever past you have, or you can stop making decisions based on your past, and when you can start making decisions based on what you want your future to look like, whether it's about kind of relinquishing that hold that your trauma has on you. I don't know how that happens, but for me that kind of manifested as my son. Like as soon as my son came into this world, it was like, fuck what happened in 2019, stuff the pandemic, like I need to start doing things that reflect how my little boy is gonna, grow up in this world. And like, I don't care too much about leaving a legacy in the world, but whenever my time comes, I just hope that I've given my son or all my kids enough so that they can start to thrive as well, and like, fuck, if that's tomorrow, then I know that, okay, I've loved my son the most I could. I loved my partner the most I could. Yeah, I think just when you have a kid, and like, again, that even having a kid is not guaranteed for a lot of people, so you kind of have to feel a little bit blessed too. But yeah, as soon as Jude came into our lives, man,
changes everything.
Everything changed. I never thought of murder. I had my son. Anybody, I dare you, man. Yeah,
it is. It's so true, because it does. It's no longer, like you said, like in terms of the past or past traumas, all that kind of stuff. But it does. It changes. Obviously, us as men, it changes us. It's no longer about us, but it's about them now.
Yeah, yeah.
Jeez, man. Good on you, man.
I love it. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I hope everyone can feel that love one day, because when you don't have a son and everyone tries to explain it to you, you think but it's not until you see them. That it's like you grow another heart or something. It's like I thought I loved my partner, like I thought I had all the love in the world for her, and then this new baby came and I was like, bro, what is this? Like, where did all this love come from?
That's so true, man. There's a different kind of love, So true. I know what you're saying, man. Jeez. Just love them more than your wife, Just.
Yeah. Oh, can you edit that one out? Edit that and I'll start again. No. Oh, man.
Yeah. My encouragement to all you young ones still in high school: have kids, because it'll change your life. I remember I was 20, and I remember I'm still growing up now, but I just remember having my newborn, and then my whole world changed. I was like, oh shucks. Like, I can't, before I could call in sick, I didn't have much responsibility. I was like, who cares about work, turn up late. As soon as I had my kid, I was like, oh shucks, I have to turn up to work every day. I got a mouth to feed, It taught me about service, taught me about, not everything's about me anymore. And you had to grow up real quick. Like listening to you, it was,
it's like you pass the baton on. As soon as they're born, it's like whatever. I'm like I said, I'm grateful that I can still chase my dream. But when he was born, it was like, man, whatever dream I have, I'm happy to put it to bed today if it means that I can, let this dude take the baton off me and keep running down the track for us.
It's cool, man. I think
it changes once they're teenagers. You just want to get. Albert. Hey, I could have been a superstar.
No, that's not the kids. Oh man, it's been an absolute pleasure also. And if we can run it back, because I know in the beginning you said in terms of the audition for Shortland Street. So you mentioned Vince Harder's name. So he was. So let me get this right. He was actually one of the guys who was auditioning for the
I
role?
guess so, because he was the first name on the board of the three of us that was getting a costume fitting.
But tell us, because I want to be interested. I want to know audition? How did you go through that whole process in terms of, because you said they were looking for a 30 to 40-year-old Tongan man, and then you get it. Did they tell you why you got the part, or did they just...
Nah, they kind of just, the show moves so fast that like you don't even get the chance to really ask questions. That you just got to jump in, and it's like a moving train. You just have to hang on.
So what do you think? What do you think you got? Why did you
got the
part?
Yeah, because when I went in and the guy was like, "Oh, just pull down your pants." I was like, "Wait, what's this audition for?" Nah. Hopefully because I was hopefully because I was good. I mean, like I like to think it was because I was good enough. Although sometimes I do watch my stuff back on screen and I'm like, "Also, how are you not fired? Like, what the fuck are you doing on there?"
But do you recall the lines, the reading? What was the reading?
Yeah, well, the initial audition was with who his romantic partner would be at the time, and it was about like saying how he had a great time last night, but then getting angry about it because she didn't want to go on a second date or something. I can't remember the line specifically, but I know when you go into the audition, it's not so much about the lines. Hey, it's so much they're more interested on the journey that you take the character on in that. And it wasn't like anything hard. You read it and you just knew, okay, he needs to start out excited, but he needs to be pretty upset by the end of it. And so it's trying to track that and go, okay, what's the line that where the switches or the beat, we call it, like where's the beat in the scene?
Jeez.
Man, I love listening to someone else's craft. Like, you know, for like a fan or someone that loves movies, it's easy to go, oh man, I can do that. But like there's so much that goes into your craft, and just respecting that. That's
Thank you, man. I love it. I love when the writing is especially when the writing is good, that's when the job is the most exciting, because like it's not so much that the words on the page go somewhere, it's that they go a lot of places, and it's, you know, that's when your craft really comes into play. And it's about, like, say for instance you need to cry in the scene. I guess it says to cry, and you're trying to beat out the script. It's always fun to go like what's the line that makes him want to cry? And then that's, a lot of people like this technique too, especially men, because men don't cry. It's about going, okay, how long can I not cry for? Because to me, those are the most heartbreaking ones. When you can see your mate like holding it in and struggling, that's, to me, that's like where all the heartbreak is.
It's good, man. Are you given like the liberty to ad-lib as well? So do you sometimes just throw in some stuff?
Especially on Shortland Street, like, because we play these characters for so, I've played Billy for 3 years now. I'd like to think that I know him better than anyone on the show. And like when you're on for a certain amount of time, the writers start writing to cater to you, to how you, I guess, play the character. So I'm like chucking in like Samoan lines every now and then too. Like my character's sister is on the show now. She's played by Bella Kalolo.
Oh, yeah.
And man, we're riffing hard out all the time, and just a lot of times we'll hear cut. Yeah, maybe I turn it down just a little bit there, please, guys. Sweet, roll it up again. Action. Then we'll just go away. But that's like the theater in us. It's like, let's make it big, and then they can pull us back.
Man, it was. Oh man, but just like I said before, also just amazing. We talked about the craft and your refining of your craft. You mentioned surviving, not just surviving, but thriving. Can you tell us what does that look like for you in terms of thriving? What does it describe for us, for Theo? What does thriving look for you?
Thriving, for me, looks like it looks like dropping my son off to kohanga every day. Looks like me going into work excited, and also with a little bit of a chip on my shoulder, and because I'm always trying to prove myself when I'm there. It looks like me treating every day like it's an audition for someone. It's about it's about knowing that today is the potential launch pad to the rest of my family's life.
Well said, Hoos.
Love that.
Well said. Charles?
I'm thinking about your son, maybe when he's 13 and he's around, he has to go see a speech in front of all his friends in school, and the topic is talk about your dad. What do you hope that your son says?
Far out, that's a good question. I hope he's able to talk about me with a smile on his face. I hope he's able to say that his dad was really good to his mum, and that his dad really loved his mum. And I hope he doesn't talk too much about me either. I hope he's able to just to summarize me in like one or two phrases. I hope he doesn't have to rely on his dad too much. Not in the life sense, but I hope when he gets up there, he can just, without thinking about it, he can just say, my dad was blah, 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 and blah, 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 blah. And I just hope everybody knows from that. It's like that. It's like, it's like when you can say one thing and then all of a sudden it just opens up the whole culture for you. I don't know why I think of this right now, but it's like saying, like, if I say, what does it mean when, if say you're in primary school, what does it mean when another Samoan kid turns up with a ulupo'o? Like, you know exactly what that means, eh? Or like, yeah. What does it mean when you wake up on a Saturday morning?
He walks in like this.
What does it mean when you wake up on Saturday and your mum's got the music playing and it's 7 a.m.? Like, I hope he can capture me in like one phrase, or like, I hope he can capture the essence of what I mean to him like that.
That's powerful.
Totally, man. You're getting sentimental.
Damn.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Thank you for that question. I've never ever asked myself that before, eh?
That's cool.
And that's the beauty of the podcast. The beauty of podcasting.
Great question.
It's kind of like a time capsule. Like, hopefully in years from now, when your son is 13 years old and he gets to see this, and I don't know, who knows when our time is done. But hopefully that he does see this and looks at the clip and says, man, that's my dad. Like you said, just encapsulate you just in those few a phrase or a sentence. That's powerful, so man. Because some people think, oh yeah, I want my son to say this about me.
That's a beautiful way of it.
Jeez.
Explaining something. That's so cool. I love that. Makes me think about my son. Hopefully, he can go, yeah, my dad, he loves me. And then it just, oh, that's cool.
Like what if he said, like, man, my dad, you think he was walking on 3 legs?
If he said that so proud, I'll be like, yeah, that's my son. That's my boy. Pete looks like he's walking on 3 legs at the moment. Oh, so good.
Go fight Jude. Are you watching this, Jude?
Oh man. Honestly, also, I just appreciate your time and just you being here and just getting to chop it up with you, and so down to earth, so easy to connect with. But there's this, there's something about you that's real contagious that makes you wanna win.
Oh, thanks, man.
You know what? Honestly, I think about, I'm a youth worker, and my heart and my passion, my dream is for our South Aucklanders to lift that lid. And hearing you speak, it's like, man, there's that hope. That's what we're missing. Just lifting the lid.
Yeah.
Let's run it straight, and you encapsulate that for me.
Thank you.
And so, yeah, and so I just, before I ask you one more question, like I just want to honor you also, and we always have this like special connection once we have the usos on the seat. Like we're always thinking about every single person that's been on this table, and they share a bit about themselves. They get vulnerable about their stories, and then they also share to us about their hopes and their dreams. And we honestly like, prayerfully always believe in that for our guests, and I can't wait for you when you're up there and you're, if you make it or not, regardless, you're real, and
Thank you.
And if we hope that, you know, all those dreams that you have, that does manifest, and that you're up there doing your Oscar, and like, yeah, that's the Usos.
Thanks, Us.
And so whatever you end up doing, bro, you know, just pray that you be the best father, the best husband, the best son, the best whatever that's placed in front of you. And so thank you. And I guess, and so I wanted to honor you, give you your flowers, but then also just one last question, like, with South Auckland in mind and our youngins, if someone's going through that crossroad, what's the encouragement that you have for them also?
Oh, man. I would just say that the life is weird. Not weird. Life is cool because when you are if you are happy in like one area of your life, it finds its way to bleed into other areas of your life. Just like you know, when you have I'll start by saying this, when when tax back time comes around, and when you get the thing and you know it says however much money is there, and then it gets put into your bank account, it doesn't get put in there straight away. Hey, it takes like about a week. But the way you carry yourself, even though you don't have that money yet, you're acting like, oh man, I'm excited because my bank account's going to be up in about 7 days. To me, that's what it's like. That's the feeling you need to have when you're struggling. You don't think about the hard times you're having now. Really think about that exciting thing that you have coming up. That could be your dream, or that could be something as little as, you know, that YouTube video. So I encourage you to get excited about that little thing now, and then let that happiness, excitedness, fire in your belly try to bleed out into the other parts of your life.
Love that. Man. I love that.
Man, who's married? Because how old are you now, Theo?
27.
27. Some of these young cats, man. Like,
It makes me think about life, and I'll go, what did I do today?
I look back at my life now too, and I'm like,
surviving.
Get out of that survival, man. That's
Bro.
so good, Bruce.
Yeah, man, I don't love also. No, it has been. It is. Every guest that comes on, it's an absolute privilege and a pleasure. Also, and you, just 27 years old, and the passion that you display, and the passion, and we know it's genuine. You're authentic, and just the words. Obviously, family is massive to you, and thriving, and also it's not a matter of if, it's when. I'm big on that. I'm big on speaking things into existence, and I really believe, and we're hoping the best. Like the crew and I, we were hoping the best for you, bro. Also, and so when you crack it, man, it's man, we're gonna celebrate with you.
oh, thank you.
We want to celebrate with you also, and so very proud, obviously, and obviously you're another. Because I don't want to say you're one of the very few, because I want it to be you're one of the many of our PI and Māori men who are doing some amazing things and achieving some amazing feats, and we believe that. And so also all the best in 2024, Shortland Street, whatever it is, whether it's a Marvel character leading role, whether it's the rom-com that's going to come soon, very soon. And so
porno. Oh, I mean, sorry.
No, I've done one. No.
Or even that. But we do. We appreciate your time. Also, we appreciate your time, and All the best.
Thank
all
you.
the best. All the best, also. Thank you so much for tonight, man. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on, and what I take away from this podcast is like, I think now I am a little bit more aware that I think I can be a role model. Not that I'm going to put all of that on me, but coming out of this podcast now, I'm going, far out, there are going to be a couple of people who do look at me and go, I want to be like that guy, because I was like that, growing up, turning on the television as well. So yeah, thank you for that. Thank you for, your words on, kind of sending the elevator back down, so that we can get some more people up. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Also.
Thank you for that.
And apologies as well. I didn't know it was David.
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 Yeah. It's a German last name. I'm not German, but some German soldier probably 100 years ago went to Samoa and bonked the lady on the beach. Probably, here we are.
David. Related to Craig David.
Craig.
Also, man, thank you once again for your time. Also, but we do have a gift for you. Everyone that comes on, every guest that comes on, we always give them a caricature or cartoon of how we envision them to be. Also, and this is on behalf of the Mandate team. Also, oh man, this is for you, my Uzo.
Thank you. Oh yeah,
man.
This is you.
Yeah, Us.
Oh, sure. Thank you, Us.
I appreciate it also, man.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Thank you
tonight. We
very
appreciate
much.
your time. But also, is there anyone, before we wrap up, is there anyone that you can think of that would be ideal to come on the podcast? You think, man, then you need to have this person on.
Yes, my first answer will be Max Palamo. If you're watching this, come on, but you got the story, you got the goods. But I also like to put out, do you know Marina Whangaava? Marina hosts the Flavor Drive show, Samoan. Was doing a lot during the pandemic to get the news out on TikTok to our people. So if you can get Marina on.
Cool, awesome, man.
Cool.
Awesome.
That's a cool one.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. But also, we always give our guests the last words of encouragement for our men and our viewers, listeners.
Man, drink your water, moisturize, make sure your gas is full before you do anything else.
Love that.
Man. Please don't forget to subscribe. We look forward to your well thought out comments. And once again, Uzo,
refine,
unlock,
and take charge.
Mandate.